Institute. We did this before in I think it was 2020 during the heart of the lockdown, and it was a very tough time for most people. And I'm glad we are back at it now that we are slowly getting out of full lockdown. And just for me to be here, I'm very honored. And just to tell you about myself. I am a personal development coach. I started this work about 8 years ago. And the reason I became a personal development coach is I was trying to develop myself. And in that journey, I found that there's a need for this type of work. Not knowing that I'm also a curious person, and this journey of personal development allows for you to explore many other things in the pursuit of you becoming the best of yourself, best version of yourself. So I'm called a crazy guy because I run a program called Mind Refinery. And at this program, this is where I make people walk on fire. This is the same program that was responsible for the naked hike that happened last year, and everybody was talking about it. And it's happening again this year. I'm the guy that rowed across the Atlantic Ocean in 2019. I spent 45 days rowing for about 5,500 kilometers with this guy called Rian Mensa, who's an international explorer. So in a nutshell, all I'm about is about exploring, learning myself, and just elevating my personality, elevating my spirit, and achieving greater things.
Thank you very much, sir. I think one of the important things is that you are giving the results of the habits that made you who you are. So let's start where the journey started. You firstly saying, I'm going into Mind Refinery. And what was the sacrifice? Because I believe you had some a tertiary education or background that you had, but there was some sacrifice that took place there.
Yes, so I'm a chemical engineer by profession. I went to UJ, I studied chemical engineering, and just when I was about to like get a permanent job with South African breweries, I decided to say no, this is not for me. I mean, there was a little voice in me that was speaking so loud. In fact, it was a loud voice, not a little voice, that was saying to me, "You are meant to be more. You are meant to be more." And I listened to that voice and I decided to leave the work environment and go into business. So I come from the academic world and I decided to be an entrepreneur. And that journey of being an entrepreneur, for me, it was about learning every day. And to be honest, it has been a tough journey because I think I went for about 7 years without paying myself a salary. 7 years before I could get a salary, going up and down, trying to figure things out. But lucky that I'm a person of high energy. It's easy for me to keep myself inspired, keep myself motivated, to keep trying. So I come from that world before I became a person who's a personal development coach, life coach, fireworking master. Yeah, I do many different things. But today, I think I want to share a few things with you guys around inspiration. You know, I come from a world of reading a
Yes,
lot
sir.
of books that about self-help, about business, and translating that into action can be difficult sometimes. And a lot of people usually get stuck in understanding the content instead of becoming the content. So I've learned to master that transition of going from I'm inspired by this quote or by these words to I am those words, I am doing those actions. So first of all, why do I walk on fire? Why would I walk on fire? That sounds crazy, right? That sounds like, why would you do that to yourself? And I was fortunate enough that during one of the seminars that I attended for my personal development, I met a guy who's a fire walking master. His name is Kobas Fasser. And he just loved my energy. He was like, yo, Fana, I love your energy. And then he said to me, I have something that I want to teach you. And I promise you, once you have this tool, you're going to change many lives. And when he said fire walking, I thought, no, man, you're crazy. I'm not going to do that. Why would I do that? So what happened is when I got into a space of taking that course and learning fire walking, I realized that it's all about the mind. It's all about the mind. When you read these books about inspiration and self-help, they always tell you that it's about the mind. It's about the mind. So why fire walking? Fire walking is to fine tune your ability to go from inspiration, which is a feeling, to action.
Okay. Okay.
Inspiration to action. Because most people don't know how to make that transition. Because self-doubt rises so high, fear rises to be so high, it creates a wall. So fire walking is for you to go over that wall. And when I tell people that you not even feel a thing, it sounds like I'm lying. But that's exactly what happens in our real lives, where you have an idea, or we are facing lockdown. Let's talk about something practical. Most of us went through the worst of times during the lockdown. Most people have given up. Most people are still stuck in depression even today. Most people have no idea what to do because they don't know how to go from I'm feeling down, I'm feeling depressed to what can I do? So the fire walking and all of these things that I do are about how to help you get out of that hole into a space of I can create a solution for myself.
Oh,
So it's
Jesus.
not about a solution for other people, it's about a solution for myself. Uh, I was affected very deeply by the lockdown because I'm a person that does events. So my events were affected because of I couldn't go out, we couldn't go to events, I couldn't do talks, and my business was not ready for the online platform. So I lost a lot of money. But I had to adapt as quick as possible because I'm in that space of. Do you hear the sound? Can you hear the sound? I'm sorry, guys. I told you I'm in the mountains. These cars are coming here, right? I do apologize for that, but I guess it gives you a bit of example of who I am. I'm gonna move a bit further away from the cow so that we don't hear the noise. I think my session is gonna be memorable for this moment alone.
You're running with cows, eh?
Hey, my man, ish. Um, okay, so I think I'm out of the way now. So with that, I was affected and I had to adapt as quick as possible because otherwise I was going to die. But because of what I've done, because of fire walking, I remember that I have to visualize what I want. I have to
Okay.
energize myself. And which is the key part here, the energy part. Most people don't know how to maintain the energy, how to raise their energy. So that's what I teach with fire walking. How do you raise your energy from a energy of maybe feeling depressed to an energy of being a conqueror? And then how do you take action? Because now being enthusiastic is one thing. Take action, any action to change your situation. And once you've taken the action, then you will get the results, good or bad. And if there are great results, we celebrate. Celebration helps us maintain the energy of that we started with. So most people right now, if there's one thing I want to give you, if it's a tool that I want to give you, right now, even in your darkest of spaces, look at your life. What's the one thing that you've won before? An achievement, a qualification that you've done before that you haven't celebrated. I want you to go back to it, look at it, and celebrate it. That's going to change your mood, your energy altogether. And I promise you, it's going to help you to look at your life differently because you are a winner, but you forgot about it.
Wow. Wow.
You
Wow.
are a winner, but you forgot about it. So remind yourself. That's what firewalking does for me, right? So how do you go from idea or feeling of, oh, I can do this to actually doing it? That's what firewalking can teach you. And then secondly, yes, both and that.
All right. Sorry to interrupt you, but where the sacrifice took place from getting I can't hear anything. Be fixing my phone. All right. Moving from getting a qualification to taking a decision to pursue entrepreneurship, yet without any background or any leverage or goodwill. Obviously, the doubts are more than even the celebration that can come with it. How easy was the adjustment from moving from that salary to getting to 7 years without even getting anything to yourself?
It was not easy. Honestly, it was not easy. And that's where the inspiration plays a key role because every day at home, let's just start at home. You are crazy in the house. No one is going to say, well done for taking that step. Nobody. Do not expect anyone to clap hands for you when you are leaving your job to trying out your business. right? It wasn't easy at all. Although those years, I had to live with the fact that you are crazy. Everybody was saying, how do you leave engineering and go into the streets? How do you leave? You're about to get into a position where you can buy a house, you can buy a car, and you leave all of that to go and start a business where you don't even know if it's going to succeed or not. It's the craziest thing ever. So, lucky for me, I'm a person who's very focused. I'm a person with laser focus. When I say I'll do something, I shut out all the noise. And that's an ability that I have. I know most people, their doubts are louder than the focus. So if there's one thing I'd like for you to learn how to do, learn how to magnify your focus, because we always magnify our fears and our doubts. Learn how to magnify your focus. And once your focus is magnified, then you will see, regardless of whatever happens around you, you will take it and say, okay, I hear you, but let me try and get this done first. I hear you, let me get this done first. So that's how I got through that whole phase, 7 years of not having a salary. And then eventually, when I got paid my first salary, I was the happiest person because I paid myself the salary.
So in the 7 years, what kept you going? Yet, sometimes we pursue things that don't have any tangible results at that moment. But for the period of 7 years, to keep on going, what it might have, it must be there's something that you saw there.
Honestly, it's the opportunity. The opportunity was too big. I'm based in Kwakwa, and if you look at the rural areas, a lot of people at the time, now it's better because young people are coming back to the rural areas. But at the time, there were not many young people who were leaving the cities to come back to the rural areas. And I saw that as an opportunity. I wanted to create something that had never been created before. So I guess I was in a position of being a pioneer. And the fact that I wasn't done with that mission, I couldn't let it go. So I just kept telling myself, you are almost there. You are almost there. Don't give up. You are almost there. And it kept me going. But more than that, the support that I got from my grandmother, may her soul rest in peace. She was like my number one cheerleader. She never told me that, but whenever I needed anything, she was already there. She was always helpful. I mean, you could say, and she would do things for me that she shouldn't have done for me just to keep me going. So when I got my first big break, the one person I wanted to make sure I made proud was my grandmother, because she was with me throughout this entire journey. Whether or not she was happy with what I was doing, she was still there. And I hope other people still have that one person in their life that at least supports that vision. But more than anything, I just wanted to achieve this particular goal and just focus on it. More than anything, focus.
All right, moving to the second phase of your journey, the Mind Refinery. I think statistics reveals that a lot of people, the reason why they can't pursue entrepreneurship, it's because of fear. Now, I understand that part of the Mind Refinery addresses that key element. How's important for one to conquer that, and what are some of the tools that you use during your sessions to enhance us to deal with such area of doubtness?
Fear is a killer of dreams, brother. I've seen this. I see it all the time with my clients, whether it's one-on-one coaching, whether it's through team building sessions that I do, or whether it's through my Mind Refinery seminars. Fear is a dream killer. People that walk into that room feel so small. They don't feel like their ideas matter. They don't feel like they can add value in any way, and it's always because of fear. Our society has taught us that we are not the ones who are meant to solve things. Somebody else must come and solve it for us. And that is the biggest load of BS that we can ever tell children. And we keep telling our children even today. So what happens is people come into Mind Refinery seminar not knowing what to expect, right? And it's a good thing because then the program itself starts to reveal their personalities. So the first thing about the program is to show people that you are the way you are because you are programmed to be the way you are. Once we understand that we are all programmed, then we have a base. So okay, cool, we are all programmed. Now we're ready to change the programming. Are we ready to change the words that we say to ourselves? Because those are not our words. Those are the words that come from other people, whether it's your parents, your teachers, your church. It's not your thoughts. So that's what I teach them first, that they are programmed and they can change that programming. Once they've changed their programming, I give them the tools. One of the tools is networking, knowing how to meet the right people. Most of us keep friends around that don't add value anymore to us. And we expect to reach the highest of goals with people who don't know how to get us there, you know? How do you network? How do you meet a Mr. Tapelo Mtahu? How do you meet a Fana who can help elevate you to the next level of yourself? Because I didn't get here by myself. I had people I had to meet that had to elevate me. And that's a skill that most people lack. Most people enjoy being introverts. They love watching Netflix. They love being on social media and not meeting the right people, yet they have big dreams. Very important skill, networking. And then the third one is basically the element of emotional therapy. A lot of us are carrying a lot of baggage, and most of that baggage is holding us back. And it could be something as small as you were bullied when you were a child. But because you were bullied, you take everything, even today, like the small child who was bullied before. So we need to get rid of that so that you can be brave and you can take those necessary steps to go to your dreams. And then to also, as an entrepreneur, you need to know how to sell. Every entrepreneur needs to know how to sell. I teach that in Mind Refinery, knowing how to sell. And then lastly, which is like the cream of the crop, it's knowing how to overcome your fear. There's an exercise that I do, a metaphorical exercise that I do in the seminar. So I won't really say the exercise, because I want people to come and experience it themselves. This is the most powerful exercise you'll ever experience. It's about you facing your biggest fear in the moment and breaking it in that moment. In a space of 15 seconds, I can help you overcome any fear permanently. Any fear permanently. It sounds ridiculous, but you should see people after they've done this exercise. They go out and they achieve the most amazing things. I know of a friend, it's a guy that I met in Bloemfontein who came to my seminar. After I made him do that exercise, he called me the next morning. It's like, hey, brother, man, I don't know what you did to me, but after our session, I went and closed a 3 million rand deal. 3 million rand deal, he closed it. What was stopping him before? The fear that he had. So now that he was not afraid, he was willing to take the steps that he needed to close a 3 million rand deal and change his life. That's how I change people's life and how I remove fear in Mind Refinery.
Wow. I remember I still have a disc that you sold me. I think it was the second Mind Refinery session that you hosted. And I came through and I remember one of the ladies, you had to jump there from the stage for people to catch her because he had trust issues with others. So that's how far we come back, you know. You cannot. Thank you very much, sir, for sharing. I think the third important aspect of your journey. Let's speak about crossing the Atlantic Ocean, yet without any swimming experience. What made you interested into that? And what was your own experience, eh?
My brother, I think more than anything, once you get into the personal development space, then you realize that there's nothing that's impossible for you personally. So I saw this advert on TV. In fact, my wife showed it to me, and it was an advert of this guy saying he's looking for one person to row with him across the Atlantic Ocean. I'm a guy from Kwakwa. There is no ocean in Kwakwa, right? So a guy from Kwakwa is not supposed to enter such a competition, but I did. And through a process of the selection, 15,000 people entered. A boot camp was held for the top 10 from the 15,000, and out of the top 10, I was selected as the winner. I couldn't swim when I went there. I'd never done any water sports when I went there. Basically, everything that I was doing at the boot camp was new to me. But at the end, when the winner was chosen, I was the winner. And I wondered why, until it was explained to us that no, we were not looking for the best swimmer. We were not looking for the best rower. We were looking for the right character.
Yes.
We were looking for the right character. And throughout all the challenges that they put us through in the boot camp, I displayed the right character for them, a teachable character, a brave character, a willing to learn, a willing to participate, a willing to do anything character. And that's why I was chosen to go on this journey. After I won, they put me through swimming training. And then I went to swimming training. In fact, all of this can be seen on Showmax. There's a documentary that we did for the entire journey. It's called The Odyssey on Showmax. If you want to watch it, it's called The Odyssey on Showmax. You can watch the whole thing. It's not BS, guys. We're not lying to you. So, and then I was taken for swimming training, and then we went to Spain. There's the islands called the Canary Islands. We're going to start from there and row all the way to Barbados, the island of Barbados. It's a very small island in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean. And honestly, when we're about to leave for shore, I was honestly scared. This is when I have to now use my teachings, because I always tell people they must face their fears, right? And here I was, a young boy from Kwakwa, never been in the ocean before, in this boat with this white guy, no other following boats, just me and him. And we have to do this task.
How big was it? How big was the boat?
The boat was very small, 6.5 meters, maybe the size of a 7 Series car. A 7 Series, yeah, BMW, that's the size. That's how long it was, 6.5 meters. So it was very tiny, man. We had to row. There was no engine. We were the engine. For every day, we had to row for about 8 to 9 hours a day, just on those oars, every day. If we don't move, the boat doesn't move. If we don't move, the boat doesn't move. You understand? So you can take that and translate it to many things in our lives. If we don't move, our lives don't move. Partnership. I had to learn to trust this guy. He had to learn to trust me. Remember, I don't know anything. So I had to learn fast, very quickly. I had to learn how to fish. I had to learn how to navigate. I had to learn everything. Like I was a seaman, and I wasn't a seaman. I learned on the go. So it was a high risk mission for him to take someone who doesn't know anything. But because of my character, my teachability character, I'm teachable, right? Because I'm humble enough to say I don't know. I'm humble enough to follow. I was willing to learn as quick as possible. And let's just say fast forward, we got to halfway, about 27 days later, halfway in our journey. I'm skinny, I'm exhausted, I don't want to be here anymore. I'm angry at this guy half the time. Like we are pissed off at each other, but we still have to get the job done. We still have to get the job done, because if anything happens, we can die. There's no one to help us. And if I was to die in the ocean, you guys are not going to bury me, because the sharks and all of that was going to eat me, right? And we get to halfway and we are happy that we are there. You know, it's like, wow, 27 days, we've covered like 2,800 kilometers already. Yeah, we are happy, you know? And then the next day, I get a call from my wife. So I would actually call my wife with a Saturday call, every Saturday phone, every 3 days or so. I call my wife just to check on her. And on this particular day, she's very sad. I'm like, baby, what's wrong? What's happening? She's like, I don't know how to tell you this, but your mom passed away. Your mom passed away. I'm in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean. And this is the news that I get. My brother, I'll tell you, I've never been so defeated in my life. Because if you are on land, whether I'm in Cape Town in America or somewhere, if I hear that someone, a loved one passed away, I book a flight, I get into a car and I go home immediately. I couldn't do that. I couldn't turn around. I had to keep going in pain. I had to cry while rowing, but I had to keep going because I had to finish what I've started.
Yes, sir. Yes,
Well, the days following that, up until the finishing line, that's all I did. Row while I cry, row while I cry. And I did that up until we got to Barbados. And when we got to the finish line, and I could see land, I realized that everything that happened wasn't happening against me. It was happening for me
For
to
you.
be,
Yes, sir.
be
Yes, sir.
the person that I
Yes,
am
sir.
today.
Yes, sir.
I'm
Yes, sir.
privileged right now to be with you as a speaker because of this particular journey that I had to endure.
Yes, sir.
And even though I went through pain, my brother, I'm still grateful for the experience that I went through. I still love my mom. I know that she protected me. That's why she left me in the middle of the ocean.
Mm. Ke a leboha Ntate, Fana. Tell me, I've learned because we've spoken when you came back that one of the alternatives that you were given, especially after the receiving the call, yeah, the mother has passed away, that there was an option of the helicopter coming and picking you up and taking you back home, but you decided not to do that. What was in your head? What was important for you to finish the journey or the challenge that you had set yourself for?
One of the number one rules for me that I've set for myself. If you've ever gone hiking with me or ever been in my seminar, one of the rules is finish what you start. Finish
Mm,
what you start. So here I am in the middle of the ocean and I get this devastating news and I'm given the option to quit. Who am I to choose that option when I tell people all the time to finish what they start? I had
mm,
to be true to my own rule and finish what I
mm,
started. But besides
mm,
that, before I left, I was with my mom and she already told me that this is for you, go and do it. So she gave me a blessing.
mm,
Her
mm.
passing away didn't mean final quit. So I told myself her passing away was her protecting me. Let me just finish what I started.
Now you came back. You came back to your land, eh? You came back to Kwakwa, and now we start seeing naked hikes. What was going on?
Yo, no, man. Yo, brother. Hey, man, I don't know what's wrong with me. I don't even know what's next. Don't even ask me that question. What's next? I have no idea. So, with regards to the naked hike, it really started as a simple thing. It wasn't even an idea for me. It's somebody
Mm,
who tagged me on a post on Facebook. He tagged me on Facebook. He's like, Fana, can you do this? Right? So, that picture was a picture of a white guy walking naked on the mountain and
okay. Okay.
it was written there. The text said June 21 Naked Hiking Day, International
Mm-hmm,
Naked Hiking Day. And I thought to
mm-hmm,
myself, I can do this. I hike all the time. And then I'm
mm,
like,
mm,
okay, let's do this. That's when I went on and I actually created a poster and I posted this poster and it went viral and
yes, sir.
everybody
Yes,
wanted
sir.
to do this.
Yes, sir.
So there was
Mm,
no backing out of it anymore because everybody wanted to do it. So we decided to do it. I honestly wasn't planning to make international news of that. I was just
mm,
trying to show that guy that I can
mm,
do a naked
mm,
hike. And now it's like one of the biggest things I've ever done. You know, people just know me for naked hiking. But over and above that, the reason I did it is because one, it's winter for us in June. It's summer
mm.
for the Northern Hemisphere. So they do it because it's summer. I wanted to do it to challenge ourselves in the cold. Now, if you are a man and you are doing a naked hike in the cold, you already have insecurities, you know? So
Yes, sir.
I
Yes,
wanted to
sir.
see how many of us men are willing to overcome those insecurities because that
Mm,
translates to many different things. Most of us
mm.
are so insecure to even raise our hands and ask for help, you know? So
Sir.
that was about overcoming any insecurity that we may have in our lives, so that we can
Mm,
just ask for help or take the steps like we said, like I said earlier on, to reach our dreams. Another reason was there's a lot of people, brother, a lot of people that are hurting. There are a lot of
mm,
people that are afraid of being exposed. So if you are willing to take your clothes off amongst other people, it means you are not afraid of exposing yourself so that you can heal, exposing the wound that you experienced when you were young. There's so many people that have gone through trauma since they were young that they haven't shared
mm.
even today. And the
Yes, sir.
man that went with me on the naked hike, I'm telling you, even today, there's nothing you can say that will make them feel any small ever again. Because in their
Mm, mm.
nakedness, they found strength. In their nakedness, they accepted themselves fully. And that's the main reason why I did the naked hike.
So obviously, from portfolio of what you've done, Mind Think Refinery and the activities that are involved in fireworking, the activities that are involved there, obviously naked hiking and the activities that are involved there. One could just conclude that you're one of the creative people in the space. So now, how's creativity important, especially while we are still in the process of picking up the pieces and creating a better us for the new world? How important is it to be creative, and what are some of the things that you can share with us that inspires one to be creative at always?
Okay. Let me tell you the truth. I am not a creative person, my brother. I am just a problem solver. There are
Okay.
people that are more creative than me that can have an idea that is out of this world. The only difference is I can take your idea and make it a reality. So
Okay.
I know how to take the steps and correct. So I'm a trial and error person. My
Okay.
creativity comes in the trial and error.
Yes,
So
sir.
you can be creative in your thinking process, but are you creative in the action process?
Okay.
So I
All
want
right.
people to create a bridge from the mental process to the action process. Because if you
All right.
don't do that, you get stuck on one side.
Mm,
Sometimes
mm,
it doesn't have to be your idea. Sometimes it
mm,
can be an idea that someone else gives to you. Partner with someone because you're an actioner. And I know sometimes some of the people who are watching this right now, you are good at taking action, not really good at coming up with ideas. There's nothing wrong with you. Then you need to find people who have a better creativity than you, and then you show them your action ability and use that to solve problems. Because it's important to be creative. But if you're not a person who can think like that, then you have a different strength. How do you use that strength to get that creativity in it? Because, like I
mm,
said, if you were to give me a problem I've never seen before and say, Fana, write down the solution for this, I won't be able to do it. But let me say, give it to me, let me try and action it. Step by
mm,
step, I'll create something amazing. Because even
mm.
my refinery, it was a step by step process. I built it in action. The naked hike, I'm building it in action. The
Yes,
ocean
sir.
journey, I had to action it. It wasn't something I created and came up with. Everything has been about action with me. Action, action, action. So more than a creative person, I make an idea a reality.
The
I think
reality.
most people need to come
Mm,
to the idea of going from the reality of going from an idea to something that is in front of you. Because if you
mm,
don't do that, you get stuck in ideas. And I deal with a lot of clients that I have this idea. Oh, I have that idea. I have that idea. I have 1,000 ideas. They don't even take action on one.
yes, sir.
Because once you take action, then you are going to encounter stumbling blocks. That's when the
Mm,
real creativity has to come. How do you overcome these stumbling blocks?
mm, mm, mm. Before I open for the participants possibly to ask their questions, they are very quiet, or I don't know why they're so very quiet, or they are amazed by your journey. So, can you just possibly share with us some of the results that you've built for your clients, possibly before I start opening for participants to ask their questions?
My brother, I've coached a lot of people. I've coached in one-on-one sessions. Like right now, I'm currently coaching international as well. I have a client in South Korea. I have a client in Japan. I've had a client as well in the USA as well. So my one-on-one coaching sessions. I have a, I have a client who was very shy to speak in front of people. In fact, let me tell you about this one. This was in Vietnam, right? Funniest thing
Mm,
ever. All the client needed was knowing how to ride a bicycle in public. That's all, right? And the fear was standing in her way. And in the space of 3 days, she went from I'm afraid. I'm talking about a 60-year-old person, right? 6-year-old
mm,
white lady who's afraid to ride a bicycle in traffic, going from being afraid to riding in traffic. So I don't know
okay.
if that shows the result in 3 days of mindset coaching, right?
Mm,
And then
mm,
in terms of Mind Refinery, I've had people who come in without any ideas, and then come at the end of maybe 2 months after Mind Refinery, someone has a business that is generating like upwards of 60,000 rands in 2 months, you know, because of the tools that I've given them in Mind Refinery. The naked hiking alone, I have white people who are part of the females naked hiking who would attest, like this other lady, her business, she's a sex coach, right? And she came to the naked hike for ladies, right? After the naked hike, you should see her business is flourishing on Instagram. She's doing things that she never had the guts to do before, and now she's just flourishing, right? Because nothing is standing in her way anymore. So I'm that guy for you. I'm the guy that helps you remove any obstacle in front of you so that you can achieve anything that you want. I mean, I can tell you about 1,000 other stories, but those are the ones that I wanted to highlight.
I'm sitting, and it's for the first time that I listen to a very positive person, because my surrounding, it is dominated by very negative people. And I'm saying, Aptifana, where do I start? How do I start feeding my pull up forces to ensure that it equals opportunities that I'm going to meet, whether tomorrow or whether next week? How do I start?
You know, for the people who are on this call, I wanna give them a helping hand, right? I think I can do this. If you're on this call and you are stuck and you want to maybe get a bit of a jolt, I'm willing to give a coaching session, a 30-minute coaching session for free. But that is just for me to highlight what you may need to do going forward. For me to help you to get there, then there's rates to be paid. But if you're coming through this Mind Think Institute, then I'm willing to spend 30 minutes. We'll schedule it. I'll speak with you 30 minutes and help you realize where you are and how you can get to where you need to get to. But there's still the action steps for you to get there, and you want my help. Then we'll speak about the fees. But the first 30 minutes will be for free for Mind Think Institute.
Thank you very much, Tata. Thank you very much, sir. Ladies and gentlemen, still waiting for your questions. Please, like Ndatefana, once you go to personal space and you get in contact with him, there's a fee that will be charged. All right, Ndatefana, the first question from Ndatesia is, do you also write inspirational books, and where can I get them?
Ndatesia, thank you for that question. The truth is, I don't have a book yet. It's in the process. It's in the works. I am writing a book. I don't have a book yet. So I want to suggest that find any self-help book and read it. One that speaks to you, read it again and again and again. Because at every year when you read the same book, you find a different message. So I don't have a book personally, but find any book and read it again and again and again. I have a book that I've read like 10 times already. And every time I read it, it's like the first time that I pick it up. That's what I can suggest you for now, until my book comes out, and you'll definitely hear about it.
All right. Any 2 or 3 books that you can suggest for the audience?
Okay, the first book, I think this is the Bible for any entrepreneur. Think and Grow Rich. Please get the book, Think and Grow Rich. Very, very key. And then for me, the other book that worked for me was Rich Dad, Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki. Rich Dad, Poor Dad. Very powerful. And then the other one was The Richest Man in Babylon. The Richest Man in Babylon. That was a powerful book for me because it made finance to be so simple. I think those are the 3 books that I'd like to suggest. Think and Grow Rich, The Rich Dad, Poor Dad, and The Richest Man in Babylon.
All right. Thank you very much. Ricky, go to the questions. All right. Datem Sadi is asking, where do I get hold of you? Do you have a website?
Okay. Currently, my website was up. It went down during the lockdown times. But you can find me on Facebook. I do have a page. It's called Mind Refinery. I'm currently using that for now up until I rebuild my website, because I have so much content to put on my website. But I'm available on YouTube, Twitter, and Instagram. It's at Fanafikile everywhere, at Fanafikile. And then on Facebook is Mind Refinery with Fanafikile. You will see it. I think my name is there. My name, the way you spell it, if you search for me everywhere, you'll find me. And my email is fanafikile@gmail.
All right. Ausin Tatua is asking, Aptifana, how do you work how do you work on overcoming fears you don't know you have?
How do you overcome fears, or how do you work on overcoming your fears that you don't know you have? Do you
Yes,
know what exposes fears? What exposes a fear you don't have is going into an area you don't know. Go
yes.
to an area you don't know and get out of your comfort zone. Then you'll see that you have fears. That's when you
Mm-hmm.
know that, oh, I have this fear, I have to overcome it. Oh,
Okay.
I didn't know I had a fear of drowning until I was thrown into the ocean. Then I panicked. Then I realized, oh no, I'm actually afraid of drowning. And I've always thought I'm not afraid of death. Now here I am in the ocean, afraid of dying through drowning. So do you understand? So get out of your comfort zone, go to a new area, and fears will arise because your mind doesn't like you being in a new area. When you're
Oh.
in a new area, it will show you that you're not supposed to be here. That's when the fears come up, and then you start working on those fears.
All right, let me go back to the questions. Auskekeleto is asking Apifana, how do you sustain motivation and inspiration during depression state, or how do you prevent discouragement from creeping you in the form of depression?
Very, very important. I think right now, um, RIP to Ricky Rick, man. I think most people after Ricky's death, like really felt the impact of depression, right? So
Yes.
RIP to anybody that took their lives through to depression. And I want to give a few words to those that are feeling stuck in a state of depression. A state of depression or any state of sadness is what we call it needs what we call a state change. Action, action, move, just move. Make any movement, walk, run, uh, go to a new place to change your energy. Once your energy is stuck in one area, think about it. When you are depressed, you don't even want to see people. You don't want to
Yes.
get out of bed. You want to stay in one area. If you can get out of bed and go to a shop by walking and you come back, your energy is changed. So find things that you can do, small things that you can do that get you to move. When it changes your energy, then you have a little bit of positivity to work with. Once you have a bit of positivity to work with, then it's easy for you to say, okay, let me try something else, something more. So where do I draw my energy? I am a hiker. I love going to the mountains. Mountains in Kwakwa, make sure that I clean my energy. I'm in the mountains right now. Even if I came sad, I'll never leave here sad. Find nature. Meditate in nature. Then you realize when you cleanse your energy, even a state of depression can be cured. I have people coming down from Joburg, Cape Town to come see me in the mountains, and they live here. And what they say to me, Fana, this is everything I was looking for. Get out of the cities, go to nature, and come back to the cities. Change your environment, and you will change your state.
Wow. All right, sir. Coach Ketiwe. Coach Kensani, sorry, Coach Kensani. She's asking, where do you draw your inspiration?
I am inspired by creating what has never been there.
Okay.
I think maybe I'm trying to make a mark because I'm looking for myself. I think for me personally, it's like I don't come from a family of wealth. I don't come from a family that's well known. So the fact that I'm going to leave something that wasn't there before me is always inspiring to me. So I'm self-inspired because I'm trying to create an impact. And the idea of that impact keeps me energized every day. So I do look up to other people like your DJ Scoos is one of the biggest inspirations to me because he never stops. He just keeps going no matter what happens. But I always draw internally before externally.
There's a phrase that says success is underpinned in our habits. Now, what would be the 3 habits that you would share with us that we need to possibly start practicing every day, possibly that will bring us to our inspirational self every day?
Pray, read, exercise. Pray,
Amen.
read, exercise.
Amen. Amen. Then Dadem Tutuzeli, he's asking, you have achieved a number of things in the short space of time. What is your ultimate goal, or how would you define success?
My ultimate goal is to die empty, brother. My ultimate goal is to die empty. I'm not looking for statues. I'm not looking for street names after me. But if I can leave this world a better place than what I found, I think I'd be a happy man. I think the generation after us need more role models, especially in rural areas.
Mm,
Guys, if you come
mm,
from a rural area,
mm,
look, let me give you an example. Right now, our young boys are sitting by the corners with
mm.
those guys that are easily accessible, and usually it's those criminal guys, the
Yes,
smokers, the drug dealers. They spend more
yes,
time with our young brothers than we do, because
yes,
we
sir.
are in big cities, driving nice cars, living lavishly. We are not
Mm,
even speaking to those young boys. And when they become criminals and they rob us, we want to complain. I didn't
mm.
want that for myself. So I want to go back and leave an impact and have a droves and droves of young people becoming more impactful than me in the future. I want them to be more rich than me.
Okay. I think the second question was, how do you define success?
Success for me is finishing what I started. That's it.
Mm,
That's it.
mm,
Finishing what I
mm.
started, and I'm successful.
Dadefana, I think in the season of anxiety attack that we are in, where mostly people they approve talent and abilities, but they underlook the significance of inspiration. Um, One of the reasons why we created this platform was to bring people who are thriving during these difficult times. Because as much as lockdown hit everyone, however, you were able to find the comeback power because you during lockdown, that's where you trended with the naked
Get height.
uh,
Yeah.
like, and already you have some of the clients that you signed during that difficult times. So someone I remember once said, sometimes we have to turn a bad chapter to a good book, even if the season was wrong, but understand what you can do with it. So for you, how important to understand the cost that is involved in you becoming a better person in terms of investing in yourself.
My brother, I've invested, I think, over 150,000 rands so far in my personal development. That's very
Mm,
key. Very key. Always invest in yourself. It's invaluable because you become
mm,
a greater person, a self-sustaining person. Invest in yourself. Everybody,
mm,
pay for coaching, pay for seminars, invest in yourself.
mm. There's a phrase that I love using, that if the sense of your pocket cannot finance the sense of your thinking, then the sense of your thinking will not expand the sense of your pocket. So, Dadefana, in closing, any departing words to the participants? There's a question. Uh, Finishing what you started. All right, Ausin Tatuwa is saying, I like the finishing what you started. I'm going to have it as a mantra. Too much. I'm not sure if Ntatefana is moving a bit on the key network, because I see that we lost him. Ntate Lephakha. So, meanwhile, Nkadela Pacha is still out. We're just having a few minutes, ladies and gentlemen. We we are trying so much with the Mind team to bring people of relevancy and people to celebrate some of our people that are doing amazing things in our different provinces. It is therefore for that reason that we can say to you again on the 1st of May, which will be on Sunday. We'll be hosting these sessions every first Sunday of the month in order for you to carry some inspiration that will keep you going. for the entire month. So to follow up on some of the work that we do, please go to Facebook and check our page, Mind Think Institute. So that's where we post most of the workshops, the seminars, and other training engagements that we going to be having in the future. So also please note that all the videos and all the work content that we've done, you can get the recordings go YouTube. The page, it's Tapelo Big Trima Motaung. It's Tapelo Big Trima Motaung. So you can also share with your friends who probably could find the content useful for them. Please, they can go to the YouTube and get get all the recordings that we've done. I wanted Ndadefana to give the departing word, but I think he's struggling with the network now. All right, Ndademotsabi is saying excuses lead to regret and failures. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And excuses never pay any bills. Eh? At the end of the day, you do all the excuses, but at the end of the month, you are required to pay the bills. So it is also encouraging to see you guys participating and also sharing some of your experiences as well. Like I said to you, we try by all means with the team to ensure that we bring people of relevance. So if there's anyone that you think will add value to the platform, please do suggest, so then the team can reach out to that person and try to bring them to the platform and try to ensure as to how do we carry each other, because we cannot solve our national problems if we approach these problems individually. We need to be collaborative. We need to be together. We need to work together. Sometimes it takes someone's bad experience to build a pushing thing to your purpose. So that's why we come and we bring Bonta Tefana to share some of their experiences. I think for me, what was important that he mentioned was the three things that he said he learned throughout his journey. The first one is if you do not move, nothing moves. So until you start doing something different, the results will remain the same. So now we need to get to a mindset and a mentality of moving things. We cannot have if we don't become. You need to become before you have. So it's important to understand your personal move. It's important to what you have in your hands at the end of the day. The second one that he also spoke about is keep going in a pain. You know, there's pains that prepares and there's pains that protects. And pain at the end of the day, it is important in fulfillment of your purpose. It's not every pain that brings sourness into our journey or our destiny. Some of the great speakers, they will tell you that pain, it spices your testimony because it allows you to become a better person in the long term of the process towards your goals. And then the third thing that he also spoke about was insecurity as an ingredient for blocking our creativity. So now we need to self-accept ourselves. We need to understand where we are. We need to understand where life wants us to be, because you cannot get to a place called there if you don't honor here. Here is required for you to get to there. So it's important to accept a more thing or more to more thing. At the end of the day, your glory is still attached to what is left in you. So who you are, where you are, and things that you have. Sometimes so then we can work towards things that we want. So ladies and gentlemen, I think that Defana is struggling to come back. I wanted him to come and share the party word with us. But unfortunately, it seems just like network. But I'm quite happy. I hope that we learned so much. I hope there's so much that we're going to digest. There's so much that we're going to start implementing and put into practice in our own personal journey. So I'm always looking forward to sharing with you next time again as to hear what has changed in your life since we have met. Remember, this is brought to you by Mind Think Institute, which is a leadership and business training that focuses on the elements that are from individually to business trainings. So we're hoping that we will take out the poster on a second week for the next coming podcast. We have already spoken to the person who's going to be joining us, and I'm hoping you will avail yourself, because we will be dealing with another aspect, personal development, because I think it's important now that we address these issues, because they are very imperative in holding us back from pursuing who we're supposed to be. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for your time. My name is Mutaun Tapele, and I always say that we become better with every conversation. We are content-led and knowledge-rich. Thank you very much. Enjoy the rest of your evening.